Hi there, boys and girls. Are you ready for story time? Tonight we're going to read Little Miss Scatterbrain by Roger Hargreaves. It says she is a little forgetful. Mr. Forgetful. Little Miss Scatterbrain was just a little bit forgetful. You can say that again. Little Miss Scatterbrain was just a little bit forgetful. She met Mr. Funny outside. "Hello, little Miss Scatterbrain," he said. "Hello, Mr. Bump," she replied. That's not Mr. Bump. Then she met Mr. Tickle. "Hello, little Miss Scatterbrain," he said. "Hello, Mr. Strong," she replied. That's not Mr. Strong. Then she met Mr. Happy. "Where are you off to?" he asked her. She thought and thought. "I bet you've forgotten, haven't you?" laughed Mr. Happy. Little Miss Scatterbrain looked at him. "Forgotten what?" she said. Oh dear. She's already forgotten again. Little Miss Scatterbrain lived in the middle of the woods in Buttercup Cottage. Everybody knew it was called Buttercup Cottage, except the owner. She kept forgetting. "I know," she thought to herself. "To help me remember, I'll put up a sign." Look at what the sign says. She isn't called Little Miss Scatterbrain for nothing, is she? It says Daisy Cottage. Remember, Little Miss Scatterbrain lives in Buttercup Cottage, not Daisy Cottage. One winter morning, she got up early and went downstairs to make breakfast. She shook some cornflakes out of the box. But, being such a scatterbrain, she forgot to put a bowl underneath the cornflakes. "Now, where did I put the milk?" she asked herself. It took her over 10 minutes to find it. In the oven. After breakfast, she went downtown, shopping. She went to the bank first. "Good morning, Little Miss Scatterbrain," smiled the bank manager. "What can I do for you?" Little Miss Scatterbrain looked at him. I'd like some quarters," suggested the bank manager. "Chicken," replied Little Miss Scatterbrain. "Chicken?" asked the bank manager. "But this isn't the butcher's. This is the bank." "Oh, silly me," laughed Little Miss Scatterbrain. "Of course it is. I forgot." She smiled. "I sometimes do, you know." "Really?" asked the bank manager. "I'd like two, please," she said. "2 quarters?" asked the bank manager. "Quarters," agreed Little Miss Scatterbrain. "Yes." The bank manager passed 2 shiny quarters over the counter, and Little Miss Scatterbrain looked at them. "What are these?" she asked. 2 quarters, he replied. 2 quarters? They don't much look like 2 chicken quarters to me. Eventually, the bank manager managed to explain, and she gave him a 50-cent piece, and he gave her the 2 quarters and change. Off went Little Miss Scatterbrain to the butcher's. "Phew," remarked the bank manager. Little Miss Scatterbrain walked into the butcher's shop. "Good morning," said Percy Pork, the butcher. "Good morning, Mr. Beef," she replied. "Pork," said the butcher. "No," she said. "Chicken." "But my name isn't Chicken," he said. "Of course it isn't," she replied. "Chicken is what I'm here for." "Oh," said Percy, scratching his head. "What sort? What do you suggest?" she asked. "Roaster?" he asked. "I thought you said your name was Pork," she said. Percy Pork sighed a deep sigh. "Call me Percy," he said. Eventually, after a little more confusion, Little Miss Scatterbrain managed to buy her 2 chicken quarters. Percy Pork wrapped them up for her. "Looks like snow," he said conversationally. looking out of his shop window. Really, said little Miss Scatterbrain, looking at the brown paper package. What a funny man, she thought to herself. It looks like snow indeed. Looks more like wrapped up chicken to me. Goodbye, said Percy Pork. Good night, she replied, and then she went out to catch her bus home. Little Miss Scatterbrain stood behind Mr. Silly in the line at the bus stop. Along came Mr. Nosy. He stood behind her in the line and looked up at the sky. Looks like snow, he remarked. Little Miss Scatterbrain looked at the brown paper package in her hand and said nothing. The end. Little Miss Scatterbrain. She is a little forgetful. The end. Hope you enjoyed the story. We'll see you tomorrow. We're getting close to getting close to 300 stories. That's a lot of stories. Bye-bye.